What if I told you that the secret to success, confidence, peace, and power doesn't lie in a book, a seminar, or even your talent, but in the very first decision you make every morning? This video is not just a wake-up call, it's a full-blown mindset shift. It's for those who are tired of feeling like life is running them. It's for the dreamers, the doers, and the quiet warriors who know deep down that they were made for more, but can't seem to break the cycle of mediocrity. Because here's the truth: how you start your day is how you shape your life. The people you admire, the leaders you respect, the winners you see, they all have one thing in common: they don't just wake up early. They own their mornings. They prepare their mind, their heart, and their attitude before the world gets a chance to throw distractions at them. In this powerful and raw speech, you'll discover the real reason why waking up early is more than just a productivity hack, it's a personal revolution. You'll learn how to train your mind to lead instead of follow, how to build momentum before the sun rises, and how to stop living on autopilot. If you've ever felt like time is slipping through your fingers, if you've ever said, "I'll start tomorrow," or "I'm not a morning person," then you need this message more than ever. This isn't just about waking up. It's about waking up to your potential. Stay locked in till the very end, because by the time this video finishes, you won't just understand why early mornings matter. You'll feel ready to own them when you open your eyes in the morning. You're not just waking up from sleep, you're stepping into the beginning of a new story. And how you choose to write the first few sentences of that story determines how the entire chapter unfolds. That's why mornings aren't just about routines or to-do lists. Mornings are about setting the emotional and psychological foundation that carries through everything else that follows. If you start your day rushing, reacting, or already overwhelmed, the entire day becomes a series of reactions. But if you start your day grounded, centered, and focused, then you move through it from a place of intention and strength. The tone you set in the first hour of your day becomes the soundtrack for your energy, decisions, and mood. It's the difference between living proactively and surviving reactively. Most people underestimate the power of how they begin their day. They think it's just about getting out the door or checking off early tasks. But the truth is, it's not what you do, it's the state in which you do it. A calm, focused mind does more with less time. A grateful heart sees possibility where others see problems. An intentional morning sets your internal compass toward purpose. When you give yourself that edge at the beginning of the day, you build momentum that nothing else can replace. You start to feel less like you're chasing the day and more like you're leading it. There's something powerful about watching the world wake up. When you rise early, you enter a space where there is silence, clarity, and potential. There's no noise, no traffic, no notifications. It's just you, your breath, your thoughts, and the raw, untouched canvas of time. That's when you can ask the most important questions. What matters most today? Who do I want to be when I walk out that door? What kind of energy do I want to bring into the world? These questions aren't just philosophical. They shape your mindset, and mindset shapes results. The earlier you tune into who you are and what you value, the more aligned your actions will be throughout the day. Think about it like this: if a musician doesn't tune their instrument before the performance, the whole show suffers. Your morning is your tuning time. It's when you set your rhythm, your harmony, your clarity. If you let the world tune you instead, you'll always play out of key. But when you claim that time and design it intentionally, everything else follows your lead. The conversations you have feel more grounded. The decisions you make feel more confident. The obstacles that arise feel more manageable because you're not just reacting. You're responding from a place of control. That control is born in the way you begin. There's a reason some of the most impactful leaders, creators, and thinkers in history protected their mornings. They understood that power isn't always found in loud moments. It's often built in quiet ones. When you own your morning, you own your day. And when you own your day repeatedly, you begin to own your life. Discipline is not a punishment. It's a path. It's the quiet force that shapes champions, crafts leaders, and builds legacies. It's not about being rigid or robotic. It's about knowing what matters most and being relentless in showing up for it, especially when no one is watching. Waking up early isn't just about setting an alarm clock, it's about making a promise to yourself and keeping it. It's about deciding that your goals are worth more than a few extra minutes of sleep. Because every morning you choose discipline, you're choosing to live in alignment with your highest standards. And people who live in alignment don't chase success. They attract it by becoming the kind of person success naturally follows. There will be days when your bed feels warmer than your dreams. Days when your body says stay, but your spirit whispers go. That's where discipline takes over. Not motivation, not inspiration, just the quiet agreement between who you are now and who you're becoming. The person you want to become doesn't hit snooze. The person you want to become doesn't negotiate with excuses. That version of you gets up. That version of you does the hard thing. That version of you trains the mind to lead the body, because discipline isn't just an action. It's an identity, and every early morning is a vote cast for that identity. The difference between average and extraordinary isn't talent, it's consistency. It's the discipline to do the right things over and over again, even when they don't give instant results. Waking up early may not make headlines, but it rewires your brain for mastery. It tells your subconscious that you are serious about your mission, that you are not here to coast, that your vision is too important to be left to chance. Over time, that simple act of discipline stacks up. It builds confidence, it sharpens your focus, it turns daily rituals into deep-rooted character traits, and the world eventually recognizes what you already knew, that greatness is hidden in the small, disciplined decisions repeated every single day. We live in a world that glorifies overnight success and quick wins, but real success doesn't come overnight. It comes every morning. It comes when you rise before distractions can steal your attention. It comes when you say yes to your commitments and no to your comfort zone. Discipline is not a chore. It's a form of self-respect. It says, I believe in my future enough to make hard choices today. And when you operate from that level of belief, your actions are no longer dictated by your mood. They're driven by your mission. So yes, it's hard. Yes, you'll have to fight resistance. Yes, some mornings you'll want to quit. But every time you push through, you prove something powerful to yourself, that you're not here to live by default. You're here to live by design, and discipline is how you build that design into something extraordinary. Energy is the invisible fuel behind everything you create, lead, and become. It's not just about physical stamina. It's about your mental clarity, emotional strength, and spiritual alignment. When you wake up early, you claim the first and most potent hours of the day before the world demands your attention. In that sacred space of stillness and silence, your energy is undisturbed and unpolluted. You're not yet reacting, you're creating. That's where energy multiplies. That's where it sharpens into focus. You don't get distracted by noise or comparison. You move from intention, not reaction. That's the zone where vision becomes action and action becomes momentum. Energy is not something you find, it's something you build and protect. Most people leak energy because they start their day in chaos. They wake up rushed, check their phones, and allow outside forces to dictate their emotional state. But when you start your day early, you lead yourself before the world gets a chance to lead you. You align your energy with your purpose. You make time to breathe, to think, to prepare your mind before the demands come knocking. And that energy carries throughout your day like a hidden superpower. You show up to meetings more prepared. You face challenges with more resilience. You carry a presence that makes others feel steady, grounded, and inspired just by being around you. That kind of energy can't be faked. It's cultivated in the early hours of the day. The most successful people don't just manage time. They manage energy, because time without energy is useless. You can have all the hours in the world, but if your energy is drained, scattered, or misaligned, you'll never create anything of lasting value. Energy is how you show up to your life, and that begins with how you start your day. Wake up early and you position yourself to charge that energy on your terms. You're not waking up for the world. You're waking up for you. You're protecting your focus, anchoring your emotions, and setting the tone for excellence. And when you take responsibility for your energy, you take responsibility for your outcomes. Even when you're tired, even when it feels inconvenient, choosing to rise early is a declaration that your life is worth designing. It says your dreams are not optional, that your potential deserves more than a rushed and reactive version of you. It says you believe in building a life of meaning and contribution, and you're willing to do what others won't, to experience what others never will. Because energy isn't about hype, it's about alignment. It's about being so in tune with your purpose that it drives you through the valleys and lifts you on the mountaintops. That kind of energy can't be bought. It must be built, and it starts with owning the first hours of your day. Discipline is the foundation that turns intentions into results. It is the bridge between knowing what you want and actually achieving it. Waking up early isn't just about the time on the clock. It's a training ground for discipline. It's the daily practice of choosing discomfort over convenience, clarity over chaos, purpose over passivity. Each morning you rise before the world. You're casting a vote for the person you want to become. You're saying, I will not wait for motivation to show up. I will lead myself. That's what discipline looks like, doing the right thing even when it doesn't feel good in the moment, because you know it's good for your future. The alarm goes off and you have a choice. You can stay under the covers and repeat the same cycle of delay, or you can rise up and begin rewriting your story. Discipline doesn't make life rigid, it makes it powerful. It gives you structure so your creativity can flourish. It gives you consistency so your results compound. The most successful people aren't the most talented. They are the most disciplined. They don't leave their goals to chance or their mood. They know discipline is freedom. When you discipline yourself to wake up early, to use those hours with intention, you gain control over your day instead of your day controlling you. You're not scrambling to catch up. You're already ahead. And that advantage is built one disciplined morning at a time. There is no shortcut to greatness. There is no success without sacrifice. Discipline is the quiet force that moves mountains over time, and the morning is where that force is trained. If you want confidence, start with discipline, because every time you keep a promise to yourself, your self-trust grows. Every time you say, I'll get up early and follow through, you're building integrity with yourself. That internal consistency becomes your strength. You don't need to prove anything to anyone else. You're too focused on proving it to yourself. That's how leaders are made. That's how purpose-driven lives are built. Through disciplined habits practiced daily until they become who you are. And yes, it's hard. But what's harder is staying stuck in a life of excuses, wondering what could have been if only you'd been a little more disciplined. Waking up early is not just a habit, it's a statement. It's a commitment to growth, to excellence, to rising above average. It's showing up to your goals before the distractions show up. It's making time for your priorities before others start pulling you in every direction. And as you build that discipline, you become unstoppable, not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. You don't wait to feel ready. You train yourself to be ready. That's the power of discipline. It's not loud or dramatic. It's quiet, consistent, and relentless. And it begins the moment you decide to own your morning instead of surrendering it. That's where transformation begins. That's how you win the day before it even starts. Focus is a superpower in a world built on distractions. Every beep, every notification, every scroll is designed to pull your attention away from what truly matters. But when you wake up early, before the world begins to clamor for your time, you're gifted a window of undisturbed clarity, a sacred space to concentrate on what actually moves the needle in your life. Focus is not just about working harder, it's about working on the right things with your full attention, and early mornings give you that edge. It's in those quiet hours that you can hear your thoughts, align your actions with your values, and channel your energy into what truly matters most. You're not reacting, you're directing, you're not surviving your schedule. You're setting the tone for it. When you train your mind to focus early, you reclaim power that most people unknowingly give away. You stop letting your day be dictated by urgency and begin to live by priority. That shift in mindset alone can change the entire trajectory of your goals, your career, your relationships, and your legacy. Focus gives you the ability to cut through noise, to silence doubt, and to connect deeply with the task in front of you. It's the discipline of saying no to good opportunities so you can say yes to great ones. It's the clarity to identify what deserves your time, what drains your energy, and what drives your purpose. In the early hours of the morning, you train yourself to recognize that clarity is a choice, and focus is how you access it. Most people fail not because they lack ambition, but because they scatter their energy. They jump from idea to idea, task to task, chasing productivity but never finding fulfillment. But when you commit to focusing early in the day, you break that cycle. You teach yourself to go deep instead of wide. You learn that 1 hour of focused effort is worth more than 5 hours of distracted motion. That kind of focus isn't just productive. It's transformative. It's the kind of focus that births innovation, strengthens vision, and forges real progress. It's where the seeds of mastery are planted and watered with consistent, undivided attention. Waking up early isn't about joining the 5 a.m. club to feel superior. It's about creating a space to think clearly, act intentionally, and focus relentlessly. It's about being able to look at your calendar and know that the most important things got your best energy, not your leftovers. You focus because you've decided that your purpose is too important to live on autopilot, and the more you do it, the better you get at protecting that focus. You become less reactive, less distracted, and far more intentional. That's how breakthroughs happen. Not in moments of chaos, but in pockets of deep, undisturbed clarity. Focus gives you the power to take one step in the right direction every day until you've climbed a mountain. And that journey begins when you choose to own your mornings and direct your mind before the world tries to. Winning the day doesn't start with your to-do list. It starts with your mindset. The way you speak to yourself when you first wake up sets the emotional tone for everything that follows. If your first thoughts are about dread, pressure, or fatigue, you're already stepping into the day with resistance. But if your mindset is aligned with purpose, discipline, and belief, you walk into your day empowered instead of burdened. The internal conversation you have before the sun comes up is more powerful than any motivational podcast, because it's your voice you'll believe the most. Your mindset determines how you handle adversity, how you show up in relationships, how you respond to opportunities, and whether you push through challenges or pull back when they show up. Early mornings are the training ground where your mindset is either sharpened or shattered. There is something profoundly powerful about choosing optimism before the world gives you a reason. It's not naive, it's strategic. When you condition your mind to look for growth instead of threats, possibilities instead of obstacles, you start to attract better outcomes because you're acting from belief instead of fear. The early hours are a reset button for the human spirit. When you wake up with a mindset rooted in responsibility instead of victimhood, in action instead of excuses, you become the kind of person who leads their life instead of waiting for life to happen to them. A strong mindset doesn't mean you'll never struggle. It means you won't quit when you do. It gives you the resilience to rise, the clarity to see beyond temporary setbacks, and the grit to keep going when no one's clapping for you. People often talk about morning routines like they're magic tricks. Drink water, journal, meditate. But all of that is meaningless if your mindset is still stuck in scarcity, fear, or doubt. You can have the perfect habits and still sabotage your progress with toxic thinking. That's why the real transformation begins not with what you do, but with how you think. If you wake up early but fill your mind with negative self-talk or worry, you're not winning anything. You're rehearsing failure in advance. But if you train your mind to speak life, strength, faith, and confidence, you become a force no external circumstance can shake. You start to believe in yourself before others do. You start to take risks others avoid. You become someone who can face uncertainty with courage because your inner foundation is stable. And that mindset doesn't just change your morning. It changes your entire identity. You stop asking, "Can I do this?" and start affirming, "I'm the kind of person who does this." You stop chasing motivation and start living from a deep well of mental toughness and belief. This mindset isn't gifted. It's chosen, built, and reinforced every single morning. And the earlier you rise to build it, the stronger it becomes. You don't have to control the world to win the day. You just have to control the one thing that shapes how you see the world, your mindset. Because with the right mindset, you don't just survive the day, you conquer it. And that's the truth. Winning the day doesn't start when your emails pile up or when people start calling your name. It starts in the quiet. It starts in the discipline. It starts in the decision to rise before the noise, to take ownership of your thoughts, your energy, and your goals before the world ever has a say. When you choose to wake up early, you're not just choosing productivity, you're choosing purpose. You're building the kind of discipline that echoes into every part of your life. You're saying no to excuses, no to delay, and yes to becoming someone who leads instead of reacts. Because while most are still asleep, you're building momentum, confidence, and clarity. And over time, that's not just how you win the morning, that's how you win everything. So if you're ready to make a change, not just once, but for good, start with the morning, start with you, start now. Thank you for watching. If this message sparked something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Like the video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more inspiration like this. We're building something real here, a community of people who refuse to settle. Let's grow together. Let's win one morning at a time.